So hi, welcome to another Guns Contractors video. Today, I always say this, they're always a special occasion to come up and have a bit of yellow injection, but this one is, I guess, particularly yellow. And somewhere around here is my new machine, but I'm not even sure it's as complete as this yet. We're gonna go and hunt. I've been given special permission to film on the line today and meet some of the people behind the scenes that put the engineering in and their hard work to create these machines. So I'm going to go and find sheet steel and see how JCB bend it, weld it, make the engines, bring the cabs, bring all of that together to form what will be my new machine, the millionth edition JCB 40X, full spec, because of course we're not messing around here. If I'm going to do it, we're going to do it properly. But I need to get out of this yard before we potentially get run over, and we need to go and find where my machine starts. So this is where the magic happens. My machine starts live as a sheet of steel. You can see along this racking here, there's different thicknesses, different grades, depending on where they go. So this is taken in onto the laser cutter, and they start cutting out the profiles for the boom sections, the chassis. This is where it all starts though, right with the sheet of steel. So this is the trolley of components that will become my machine. So hydro clamps, I remember having trouble with those on my last one. 4 brand new ones here, ready to go. Round here, these are the lights that will go in the jack legs, all with their pre-assembled painted piece, ready to go. We've got some hoses up here. This is the steering actuator, bushes. This is one of 2 trolleys that will follow my machine around the line as it goes. You can see I've got plenty of hoses here, brand new hoses, shouldn't have any trouble with those for a while. So over here we've got yellow rams. Now most JCB rams these days are black, but of course back in the 90s they used to make them all yellow, and the millionth edition machine that I'm getting is going to have the lovely yellow rams. In fact, some lucky man as well is getting them in a nice red colour here. But as you can see, predominantly they'd be black. All these rams get made here at their own factory. It's pretty unique really that JCB make most of the major components really of their machine, which there aren't many manufacturers that do that. But yeah, look at that, they look excellent in yellow. I'm going to have a nightmare keeping them clean. So this is a backhoe loader chassis welded up. You can see it's got the rear legs on, it's got the loader frame on it here, and that's the main chassis of the machine. That's where all the strength is in the backhoe, and that is about to, literally hanging from that chain, go through that big flap into the shot blasting, which is its first preparation for paint. Really cool to see them here. There's other chassis down here as well that you can see. You know, look at the quality of the welding on here, is absolutely lovely. A lot of this is done by hand, and the guys here really know how to do their welder. This one's actually a centre mount machine for the American market, so you'd have your jack legs on the side, and that's obviously the king post essentially. Of course my machine has got the legs like this has, the side shift, which is like this one here. So yeah, really, really cool. Look at the thickness of the steel on here. Lovely, all machined out, ready to go. So here we've got a stack of loader arms. And you can see, look at the detailing on the gusset here. That's all been welded up, ready for shot blast. It's really cool to see them at this stage. There's hundreds of arms here. Some have got the bushes in, you can actually see the metal bush in there. Yeah, that'll all be off to paint shortly, where they'll go into that lovely shade of yellow. So this here is where the king post meets the frame, and you can see now that's all been shot blasted. It's got its legs installed, and they're going to assemble the king post and then mount that to the chassis before she goes on to the next stage. Well, here we have my machine, literally my machine. This is so, it's kind of surreal. It seems ridiculous. It's actually quite an emotional moment really. I've worked so hard to one day be able to actually do this, And to see it here, pre-assembly, this is really cool. The little boy Ollie would never have imagined that he'd one day be walking around the factory, let alone seeing his own machine actually put together here. So let's take a look at some of the specs. So we've got the rear valve block on here. So that's all now part of the EH controls. So this is my machine, will have the brand new latest revision of the JCB servo system with the EH. We've got wiring harnesses going on, there's hoses going in. But yeah, here she is in all her glorious yellow. It looks great. Looks great. I hope for many years, I hope this thing can earn me the money it's going to cost me back, and some. But that is seriously, seriously cool. Love it. So now she's reached the top of the assembly line. This is where we meet the axles, we meet the engine, and then we've got to head all the way down here, where eventually we'll meet the cab and the loader arms, etc. But this is the start of the assembly process now, and we've got the axles here coming together, being lifted off, and my engine and transmission beside it, and that now moves alongside the machine until they pair them up, which we'll see shortly. So we've got my chassis being lifted on to meet my engine and axle. You can see my rear steer axle here, front axle's down there, and they're going to meet the engine, the transmission is all bolted together, ready to go. This is the pairing. So they've got lots of hoses, lots of harnesses, things to marry up at this stage. It's quite a complicated lift. So, my front axles here, that will be mounted in a second. They're just getting the chassis, they lift over the engine. You'd think, like a tractor, that the engine would be structural, but it's not. It's actually, as you've just seen, the chassis is lifted over the engine and the transmission. Rear axle is now bolted on, and then we've got the parts trolleys. This is the trolley we saw earlier and helped assemble. That'll get hooked on to the little dolly here, and then she'll work her way down the line. And this here is my king post, which you can see the auxiliary hoses are all fitted, and that is ready shortly to be lifted onto the back of the machine, which we'll see in a minute. So I've just done a tour of the cabs factory, which is just behind me. Shame I couldn't film in there, because actually it's almost more impressive, strangely, than seeing the main production line. They make something like 400 odd cabs a day in there, and one could be a loadal cab, could be a load and shovel cab, there's dumper cabs in there, there's backhoe cabs, there's obviously the X series cab, and they could just be, you know, they're all hanging from the ceiling and they get cooled down as they need them. There's a lot of automation in there, it's very impressive. Robot welders welding things up. There's 12 stages of sort of dipping for paint. Just think that plant there, every cab that's in there being made is a cab for a machine. You know, they don't make a cab just to make a stock cab. So they're all made bespoke for that customer spec or that dealer spec. And yeah, you stand there on that balcony. It's a real shame couldn't film it, because I think it's more impressive for showing the scale of what is really going on here and surrounding here. We're only 10 minutes down the road from the main factory. Yeah, very, very impressive place, and a great tour as well by Ian. Really knows his stuff, has worked in the business for a long time, worked on fast tracks, worked on the original 3CX, you know, back in the 80s. Yeah, some really, really good people here. I could talk to them forever, but we must move on. So this is my cab. You can see we've got the LED headlights, yellow in colour. That is going to be my office. for the next few years. Lovely looking thing. Great to see. Going to be paired up with the chassis shortly. So this is how she looks at the moment. Still got the cab to go on. Got a lot of hydraulic hoses fitted. Engines in. Fuel tank, hydraulic tank are on. And this is that parts trolley that we assembled earlier. Now looking rather empty. King post is on. Yeah, it's looking great. And just at the next stage, you can see the machine 2 ahead of mine is having its cab fitted. My cab is just over in the corner. There she is. It's a bit weird with no machine, but it's already fitted out, ready to go. Got my Millionth branding, my new screen and cameras are all installed here. My new screen beside now, which is all the new digital dash. My front camera set up there. Sandwich locker. Yeah, cup holder. Always important. This will be my new office. And we've got the Millionth backhoe on the steering wheel. And I believe on the chair as well. Very nice. Can I stay here tonight? So this is where the buckets will meet the machine. This one here is actually mine. Look at that, lovely. Yellow buckets. That's where we're at. There's obviously a couple behind mine as well. And then there's some monster 5CX ones here, which are huge things. They're quite a bit wider. You can see actually how the difference between this one at the front and then behind here. Yeah, nice. Line of buckets, look. So sadly, this is where we're going to have to leave it for now. It's the end of the shift, and to be fair, they've put in a long day. They build about 30, 31 backhoes. I think they've done 30 backhoes today and 1 compact, so they're all built on the same line. The American machines are here, ones for Europe. There's even ones for rest of world spec, kind of a tier 3 as well. They build all of those machines on this line, so it's quite a varied line actually, and you can have one machine to the next can be completely different. They don't build them in batches or anything, all built for a customer like myself. So sadly, this is where she gets. The next stage is the big lift where it comes over and then will be fitted with its boom, the front bucket, and then it'll make it down, and then it gets filled with fluids and eventually fired up for testing, hot testing, which is all done outside. I can't thank JCB enough for today. It's been absolutely awesome to meet the people who build these machines, see the passion and the engineering that goes into these and the production process. Yeah, it's been really cool, and to know that that's my machine down there that's doing well. I mean, it'll be hopefully the machine that builds my business for the next maybe 10 years. I don't know. Maybe we'll be able to buy another one sooner than that. But yeah, you know, Millionth edition. We're not going to waste that opportunity. It's going to look great. I'm really, really excited to receive it. Only a couple more weeks now. From here, it's got to, as I said, it's got to get its hot test, got to get its PDI, gets checked over for any final issues from build, make sure it's the right spec, etc. And it's got to be shipped to my dealer and gets another inspection there before it makes its way to me. So it'll be a couple of weeks before I get my hands on it. But just to know that it is here now, it's here, it's real. And one of these boom sections down here will be my boom. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed that. I certainly have. Yeah, I'll let you know when I get the machine and we can go and take some of that shiny yellow paint off the front bucket.